Good evening, my friends. Tonight we're going to do something different. I'm going to do a little step away from music and do a video on something I haven't done in a very long time, and that is take a look at a Hot Toys figure. This is the She-Hulk that just came out here in recent months. Now, for background, if you look up above, I spent about 17 years in the Chattanooga Modelers Club, and I did exclusively did figures, and I just kept going and going until I could get them as close to skin as I could. So when I get a figure like this that really stands out, I like to talk about it. Movable eyes, which is really cool. I haven't messed around with that yet. I just got it out here and been looking at it for a couple of days. They did the hair really good, even though it's is like plastic or resin or whatever. They at least did it in pieces. It's like they learned some from the older anime kits where you got the hair, especially in front of the face, and in different pieces. That they did I think, a nice neutral facial expression. It's very much like the character on the television series, which I never saw, but it also has a little bit of reminiscence from the comics, Peter David era. So while it's really realistic as far as the way that they did it with the skin color and all that, it's also still got your comic book thing going on. I've heard complaints about the face and the skin not matching, and it really depends on lighting and what you're interpreting. Because with her face, even She-Hulk, she's probably going to have some different colors in the rest of her body, like blushing, things like that, things that make your facial colors different. They did a lot of really neat texturing on this, on the paint. Great job. I'll give them 100% on that. But even on the body, though, and that's something I want to talk about. I've got probably 50 Hot Toys, all the Avenger stuff, all that kind of thing. And they really paid more attention to the faces and the costumes and the bodies. Since a Fison came out, and I'm going to show you a really good example of a Fison body. This is the Athena 1/6 by TB Lee, where they've used a Fison body, but they've made it a nicer Fison body. And here's a Valkyrie with almost the same body. Look at the muscle texture on these and the proportions. Then let's hop over here and look at She-Hulk. Let's back up here. They really did make her look correct, in my vision. Instead of being a big bulky thing like the Hulk, she keeps a feminine posture, but she's got the muscles. And for any of you guys that are going to buy her, to try to get the costume off to look at her naked, uh, I don't think you're going to have much luck with that. I wouldn't recommend it. Just use your imagination, man, or paint your girlfriend green or something. Let's look at this. I want to look at some really. Oh, and by the way, use the stand. This thing's heavy, and it's a little bit top heavy. I think because of her butt muscles and her shoulders, she's a little bit top heavy. But look at the muscle texture on this, um, especially the legs. They really did a good job making it look like muscles are supposed to look. Those Fisons I showed you, they're still a little bit on the anime side of muscle. And when you look at this, it just looks like somebody that's either been to the gym doing a lot of squats and deadlifts, or it's just, the Hulk. And I like that they did not overdo her calves, which gave her more of a feminine look. Um, the breasts are not stupid big, but they're not little. They're compact for, they go with her shoulders really good, the way that they come down, uh, where this right here is, where it comes down. it fits. You don't want to mess up the look of the rest of the thing by just putting big boobs on it. If you want a crotch shot, there you go. There's nothing crazy going on there. It looks attractive, but it's just looks like somebody in shape in a gym suit. Now let's do a butt pic because I know a lot of you guys, even me, I like these female figures to be them use good bodies, and they did on this. You can see the musculature perfectly goes up into her rear end, and then it tapers into her waist. With the black and white, it kind of gives you a really weird illusion. This is also a good way to look at the triceps muscles on by the sleeves and the back of her hair, which just it looks good. I mean, it looks like hair from here, and then you get up close and you know it's plastic. Um, the tennis shoes are pretty cool. Once again, reminder plus to use the base, even if it's not beautiful. The tennis shoes are cool. They're just kind of workout versus Air Jordan types. They've even got the little zippers right here. The stand is, I'm not big in Marvel as far as comic book series stuff. This is probably going to get me bigger into it. But for her proportions, the stand is about right. And you just want her to stand on it and tell who it is. You don't take, have buns and shit like that. But yeah, I really think they did a good job as far as making her look human, but at the same time, look like the Hulk in a lot of the comic book forums. Now, I know probably a lot of you guys have that like 6 scale Star Trek figures. You're thinking, man, this is going to be a great Orion slave girl, oversized. And size, we haven't talked about that yet, okay? She is a 1/6 scale, but I think she's almost 14 inches tall, if I remember correctly. If you want to hang with me here, I'm going to try to give you a translation in size. Okay, here we go. So, even though there's about half an inch there, and this one's wearing a helmet to make up the difference, this is a 1/6 normal size, super goddess figure up against She-Hulk, and she's a head taller, almost exactly a head taller. So that's kind of like probably in one of her in-between sizes, But anyway, if any of y'all got this yet, and I had to buy this from eBay because they were running out everywhere else, and I didn't want to wait, so I had to pay probably $100 extra. I paid about $400 for this, and I've heard they've been going for the 300, 350-ish but also even higher than that. I've seen some that were ridiculous, like $800 from Japan or something. But I like this figure. I like a lot of the different female figures, a lot of the, Western male figures and things like that. But I like to find these sexier figures that you can put in a room and it not, draw the wrong kind of attention. It's a comic. I put one of the comic books back here just to, some of my friends walk in. I keep this in my music studio. That's a real good shot. Like, look at her eyes. The way that my lamp's reflecting off of her eyes, you have to zoom in close to see which way she's looking, which I think is cool. I think that the movable eyes, I know I got off the subject there. For you guys that want a boob shot, there's your boob shot. Even got the striations for the veins on this. I did a fist and I did the hand. I forgot to talk about that. She comes with about 5 different hands shapes. She comes with a cell phone, and that's all she comes with. So she doesn't need accessories. She's a damn walking tank, so she doesn't need like guns and bombs and you know. So if you're a big fan of She-Hulk and you looked at this and you've thought about this, and I have no affiliation with Hot Toys, I just like the hell out of them. It's worth buying it. You're going to have to pay more now because there's not as many of them, but But let me know what y'all think about this figure, seriously. If the parts that I looked at, like the musculature and the proportions, are important to you, or if you just wanted to buy it because it looks sexy, or it's your favorite comic to read, or you wanted to try to get her clothes off to look at her naked, or whatever. Y'all give me some comments and like and subscribe. I've got so much shit on my channel from music and stuff. But it was fun to jump back and do one of these because this is a really good figure to get back into, like, doing figure videos. There's just some different views with different lighting so you can see the texture of the skin. You come up on her face. You know, with different ways of moving the eyes, you could get a lot of different reactions out of her. You know. So y'all let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.